Hi, and welcome to Have You Made It, the podcast where I talk to Northern creatives about what they make and how they make it. So, this is the first episode, and I'm talking to the artist Rio Campbell. In this episode, we talk about everything that it takes to be an artist. We talk a lot about where she's from and how that's influenced all of her work. And I think probably the biggest theme that comes up throughout our conversation is the importance and need of community and influence and the importance of having friends and people around you who really support and believe in what you're doing. It's a really interesting conversation. We were talking, I think, for over 2 hours, but I've managed to get it down to around an hour's conversation, and it's really great. So I can't wait to share it. And without giving much more away, I'll start the episode. So enjoy. Rio Campbell, known artistically as Cambo, is a multidisciplinary artist based in Hull. Born in 2001 and raised in the city's council estates, Cambo's art reflects a raw, unfiltered approach to creativity. Her work is characterised by a balance between spontaneous, in-the-moment creation and intricate demonstrations of skill, exploring themes of self-love, identity and her roots in council culture through paint, photo and film. And so with that, let's welcome Ria.
Hello,
Hi, Ria.
I'm
How are
here.
you doing?
Hey, good. How are you? Long time no see.
I know, not been sorting through technical difficulties or anything. How was that hearing your bio read out to you?
Good. I've rewrote it about 5 times in different places. Like anytime I'm doing like a proposal or anything, I'm like, it's weird having to write about yourself in third person and then straight away jump back to first person in like the next paragraph. It's like everyone wants to know about you in third person for like a second, and it's like, what is your proposal? And it's like, I'm going to do this, and it's back to the first person.
Do you many proposals like that?
I've started doing a couple. I've been contacted for a few exhibitions. Some of them are in like, well, one of them in 2027. And after when there's all like
Oh,
funded
wow.
shit involved, yeah, it's mega to me like to do that. Yeah,
Are they doing it that far in advance and you think it's because of funding and stuff?
I think so. Yeah, because they have to get like the funding in advance. But even the fact that work or an exhibition can be funded is just mental to me. Like that as an idea, like I didn't even know that was a thing. When people start saying, "Can you do a proposal?" I'm like, what do you mean? Like it's so foreign. I had to Google how to make an invoice when I first sold a painting. And I was like, I do not know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Is it quite recent that you've been doing things like setting up your invoices to sell your art and setting up everything via shares?
I sold paintings, but it was just to like people that I knew of that had contacted me, and then it wasn't until I started selling for a bit more and to like more high profile people that I was like, I need like to make some document of it. I don't know. It's just how it works, in it. But in my head, I'm just like, even to sell a painting
Yeah.
is wild to me. Like, I understand the value of my work. Like, I value it, but the fact that someone buys it, I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Like, I'm just painting it to get it out of my head, and then someone's like, oh, I want that, and I just think, oh yeah, shit, I forgot about like that
Yeah.
whole other side to it.
Yeah, of course. Like you're literally like a professional artist.
Yeah, but it's weird. I believe that I am, and that's what I always say that I am. I like I'm an artist before I'm a barista, or before I'm an art teacher. Like I'm that first, but when it comes to the practice of it and like I suppose like the business side of it or whatever, it just goes not over me because I understand it, but I just it's not at the forefront of my mind at all. Like I come upstairs to paint and then I go home and I make my tea, and it's just the same part of my day as getting up and getting a shower. So to then like respond to an email or make an invoice, I'm like, that's like proper stuff. In my head, it's those two worlds are separate, but yeah, it's weird. But yeah, it'll be in October last year.
There's advice to anyone wanting to sell their art.
Making voices. It also makes me look more professional. Like if someone gets an invoice for a piece of work, there's an essence of like legality and like doing it proper there, which is always good.
Yeah, this is your life now. So you're in your studio right now, I can see, which looks sick, by the way. I love
Thanks.
it. Tell me a bit about your studio and your setup and
It's above my work where I work, and the lads give me it for free. But it's by absolute blessing. Yeah, it's mega. I love
what
them to talk to me.
absolute legends.
Yeah, Nick and Brody, big shout out, first shout out at the sesh. I started working here in like 2022 on cover shifts because my mate Adam, who also works here, I was in a band with him at the time. We're a different band now, but he was like, "Oh, I can do some cover shifts, put in a good word." Well, we got along straight away, and then fast forward 3 years later, and I'm running the coffee shop, and I've got a studio upstairs, and without them trusting me, not only with this as a building, but also like trust in my creative endeavours, and they always push it, and they've always pushed everything. They've given me the venue throughout the mud and all the rest of it, which I'm sure we'll talk about later on. But without that, I wouldn't be doing anything. So I didn't have the space to paint. At my mum's house, I've always been encouraged, but I shared a bedroom with my sister, and it wasn't that much bigger
Yeah.
than this room, so I couldn't do big canvases. I just did them at school on the floor, and then had to put away or whatever. Do you know, like I didn't have this space. Just and I'm allowed to make a mess as well. Like, Dad, if anyone's watching this that I've been in, they'll know what it's like. It is DIY. It's independent. It's messy. It's like do it yourself. It makes itself. Everything we do is in house, like from the fucking electrics, the plumbing, like literally everything.
Yeah.
So to have a space that I know I can have a bit of fun with without taking the piss is perfect for me. Like it's I love it. It's class, and it gets really good lighting.
Yeah, I was gonna say the light looks great. The light looks real good.
Yeah, it's really nice. There's a big like let's see it, big
A
sky
nice
window.
skylight.
Yeah, I remember first coming in, and when it was empty, I was like trying to decide which wall. I was like, I don't want to be underneath the window. I don't want to be opposite because I'd be like a glare. And then I just like thought this one's the right one because it's like longer this way. And when I've like
Yeah.
finished painting something, there's a mirror like opposite me, and I'll stand like that, and I'll just look at my work through the mirror, and I almost see it from like a third person point of view. And that ear needs
Nice.
changing all. Yeah, it's good. I love it up here.
That's such a good way of looking at your art through a mirror.
Yeah, it's actually, and I'll probably spit it around. You see it there? But it's good because your eyes focus on the same point when you paint like in front of you, and then when you're further away, it's almost zoomed out, and you can notice the features. So, say like with this one, my brother, I ain't finished it obviously, but the ear was the wrong shape, and it wasn't. So like I looked through the mirror, and I was like, that ear's fucked, and I tried to like swivel it back around, but because obviously when you paint, you're painting like this. And you step back,
Yeah,
yeah,
of course, yeah.
ears this big, head's that big, or whatever. It goes wild.
Tell him it's abstract.
I can get away with it. I do it with some like.
That's so sound that they've given you the space. Like it must be so nice to work with your mates who are dead supportive.
Yeah, they're literally my best mates as well. Like my
Yeah.
friendship group is
That's so nice. So you literally work with you when you do the cafe like during the days, you basically like run the cafe. You with all these people all day, so you've got this like sound community around you. And then after work you just go up to your studio
I go
and the lot.
upstairs. Yeah, I call it my what do I call it, my 5 to 9, my 9 to 5, because it actually is like I'll be up here, especially in the summer when I've got all the light. I'll come up here after work, and I've got the energy as well because it's like when there's light, I've got more energy. And in with a yellow light, I've learned, like from the light bulb in winter is a mistake because that Jesus painting, I did all the body, and because the light is a yellow bulb, I actually put too much blue in the paint. I came back the next day and I was like, "What the fuck have I done here?" Like it was just completely all his tone was blue because I had the yellow light, so I overcompensated. Am I allowed to swear on this?
Yeah, gosh, you fucking can. You can swear. It's fine. It's Northerners in it, so I think there's going to be a lot of swearing throughout. That's sick though, that you can just like pop upstairs.
And I can obviously we're a bar, so we're open until real late. Usually I'm before we close because I'm shit a bit done in, so I'll just stay upstairs. I'll come up after finishing at like 4, and then I'll just stay upstairs until we close or before we close. I'll go out the back way. I'm not feeling social, but we close at like 12. So I can sometimes I can hear like the thud of the night. I'm thinking it's a Saturday night and I'm like pitting Jesus or something, and everyone else is downstairs. But it's my choice. I like it.
No, I love it. Because I reckon for so many people, it's a space that is so important. It's like you say, like doing big canvases and stuff. Like, how can you ever do it if you don't have the space? And I bet there's so many people who want to paint like huge shit and just can't because they don't have the room for it.
There's a stereotype. Well, I'm not a stereotype, but I listened to this thing and it was like big art is like synonymous with money because you have to have big walls and a big space to create big art. So like the whole, like I don't know, energy around it is like proportionate to how much you can afford or the space you have. But it's frustrating because like
Yeah.
sometimes you want to make something big because you want the full breadth of your arm. That's like for me, I like being able to do like that and create a shape that's like with my body as well as my mind. But I have to just roll it up. I have nowhere to put it. I mean, I've got the walls are high in here, obviously, and I'm lucky. But there's only so many big paintings you can fit, and then my storage is small. I'm obviously grateful for all of it, but some. So I look at some artists and I think, where the fuck are you putting that? Like, where are you actually putting that? Because that is fucking massive. Like, where are you putting it?
You're so right. That's such an interesting quote, actually. I hadn't thought about it that way, but you're right.
As well, like you have to sell big work for a relatively big price because the cost of shipping it like properly it just absolutely blows you out. And then you've got the like the price of the work of what you value it. But then the people that will A, be able to fit it on the wall and B, afford all of the above are also people with a bit of more money to throw around, which I think is just wild.
Yeah, so basically like all these rich people are buying this massive art from rich artists already. And it's like when does it actually become accessible for people who have less money
Yeah,
or
big
less
art, big walls.
space?
People with less money might more likely have less space, so smaller housing, for example, which means they're almost never going to be able to get big work because they can't physically fit in. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah,
certain
yeah.
people
No, I
can't
totally.
fit the size in, even if you like it. Like I've always liked Basquiat art since being really young, being introduced to it at school, and like the
Yeah.
size of his work just blew my head off. But he just did it to do it, and then people bought it. Obviously, he goes for absolutely fucking loads. But I always just think, oh, like I wouldn't be able to put. I mean, I wouldn't be able to afford it. I was fucking 15 with £5 pocket money, but like the thought of like a painting in my fucking campsite on Boothroom was just like that won't work. How would that get in here?
So you talk about like Basquiat was one that like you love Basquiat when you were younger. What were some other
Mm-hmm.
influences and where did you learn about art? Like you say you grew up around Bouffry, like was it at school?
It was at school. My art teacher, Alison Olahead. Well, we called her Miss but I call her Alison now, obviously. And I'll teach art with her weirdly enough, but I'll get back to that. Yeah, I had her from year 7 to year 13 because I went to college at the same school. So I went to Sirius Academy West on Boothroyd State, shot across the bridge. And she just introduced me to it all. I remember being in year, was it 8 or 9? And we got this like little sheet, like a little worksheet. I remember seeing it was on Egon Shield. I've got like a tattoo like there, you can kind of see it. Absolutely love him. I remember seeing it and being like, I just realized like my brain just seemed to like develop a bit in that second. I was like, that's so good. I went to go see it in Vienna like 2 years ago to like his exhibition. I remember getting that same like tunnel vision as soon as I walked the escalator like that, and I was like, flashbacks a year now and being on the stool in 252 in Sirius Academy. It was wild, but yeah, she showed me most of the like foundations of the things that I like now. Like she showed me Basquiat. And another teacher, Steve Rickard, also on the art department. I think he showed me Basquiat. I've done a lot of graffiti based New York scene work. And I just loved it. And Banksy and all that, I was obsessed with that, like the performative side of it and like the
Yeah.
contextual relevance to the work. And then the Banksy on the bridge thing happened. I was like, oh my god, this is so good. But yeah, Alison was like super good for like opening me up. My mum and dad have always supported me, but having it like
Yeah.
academically is different to your parents just like loving what you do.
It's so different because you actually then develop
Mm.
taste early on, which is so
Yeah,
helpful when you actually come to like doing what you're doing now. Because like you can have the most supportive parent in the world, but if they don't actually know anything about the creative that you enjoy,
yeah,
then how are you actually going to be able to have a career in it? Like for
yeah,
example, like I really wanted to go to like drama school, but I had no clue what to do, and I ended up just like doing French because I was like I can get a job in that, and like ended up doing something academic. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like because my parents was like, do whatever you want, but there was never like this. Okay, but this is actually some sick things that you can look at, and here's like people that you can look at for influence. And so having someone like that in your life that's actually able to provide you with like things to look at and be like actually to blow your mind and be like, okay,
Yeah.
you develop your taste. Like you say, like you felt like your brain grow. Like that would have been your brain
I
being
was just
like,
like, I can close my eyes and see it now. Like I can actually relive. I'm not very like visual in my mind, which is weird. I can't really get images, but I can do that, and I can see. It's the piece I can't remember the name, but it's where it's got like blue hair. It's like a self-portrait, and I can just see it, and I was just like, oh. But yeah, Alison definitely. Our parents' evening was funny. I was really clever in school, not to shag my own ass, but I did really well. But in art, I used to do.
yeah,
I did well in the end, but I like to do my own thing, to put it simply. I know this is like so stereotypical, like I'm nice and I was a bit different in school, but I used to just get big things and I'd paint the Statue of Liberty and then spray paint over it, or I'd make some and
yeah,
get the
yeah,
full class to set fire to it, and then take photo power on the floor and be like, "There's my final piece," and she'd be like, "Rio, you can't get a good grade with that," but she knew I was a perfectionist as well, and then she knew I wanted to get the absolute top grade.
yeah,
But I also didn't like drawing. I don't know why I didn't like drawing because I was good at it. I think it's because I wasn't as good at it as I wanted to be. And I didn't really have the bother to put in the effort to get where I wanted to be. I don't like doing things if I can't do them. So I just kind of avoided it altogether and just like the like more contextual performative side of it. but she'd say, Ria needs to jump through the hoops. I would like to do anything.
Right, yeah, yeah. There's just a specific like curriculum, and you have to, if you want the grade, it's basically a memory test or like a copying test in it. It's like it's not like
Mm-hmm.
have freedom of expression and make whatever you want, like be contextual. Like it's none of that. It's literally okay. You've got to draw. I was gonna say like, was it mainly drawing based at school for art?
Yeah, well, you have like four, what do we call them? Like AOs, assessment objectives. That's what they were. Like one of them was, I think they're like what you're assessed on. So one of them's like drawing or like skill, but it was mainly on like drawing. One of them's development, so like your sketchbook. I sort of think I didn't like writing about what I was doing, like all the time. Like, oh, why you chose school there? It's like because I don't know. I don't know. I understand that in your head, socially, like you get development and inspiration from things around you. Like you never,
Yeah,
like you're not just a blank thing and then you produce it. It all comes from somewhere, which I understand. But having to like always dig up everything like that. Just like today, I came in and drew my hand because I was bored to death, and that's why I'm not obsessed with my hand. I'm not loving pencil. I'm just fucking in and out, and I'm probably hungry and waiting for my chicken pasta at dinner or whatever. But she understood that, and we've always had a really good relationship. She's like an auntie to me almost. Like we've got a really good, like still now. So she understood it and would let me do it so much, and then like not rein me in because she never did that. She just reminded me of you can do that, but you are gonna get a D, or you could try do this and still do that, and we can get you this what you want, which is great because she knows I don't like
yeah,
looking bad on paper. I like doing well, but she also
yeah.
let me do my thing and encouraged it. And I teach out with her now as well. Got under art in its her business, so she left the school. She didn't like the way it ended up going with like cutting all the art department, overrunning the teachers. The kids didn't really get any attention. They also cut the lessons, I think, to like hour periods. You used to get like double art, so you'd be able to actually sit down, get paint
Mm,
out, an hour's not long. Once you've been told what you're doing and you've done the register, you've only got really half an hour, and 15 of that is getting
yeah,
shit away and fucking getting paint off someone's blazer. But
yeah.
so she just left, and there's other things going on. And then yeah, she started her own business and asked me. She initially asked me to do the logo for it, and it's like this tattoo here, and I was like, what she want that for? But I just did it, yeah. And then she asked me if I wanted to do it with her. And so there's a few other people that she's taught as well that are members of staff, which I think's really sweet. She's like collected us all.
That's so cute. Yeah, she's literally collecting, yeah, like all her favorites.
It was good coming back. I teach art, obviously, but I learn more by teaching it like than I do teach other people. If that makes sense. Like I learn
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same thing I teach other people because I reinforce it. So I'll be saying, "Is that as dark as it is on the photo?" And then I'm like painting this, for example. I'm like, "Is the inside of his ear actually the darkest part?" You know, like I'm almost my own voices in my head and Alison's voices in my head. Like, should you do it that way or should you try to do a portrait? Yeah, yeah. Like I've got all these like prompts and guards like that mentally just floating about at all times, but I reinforce it by teaching it to like people who've never picked up a brush before, and then by the end of a few sessions can create something that's technically quite good, which is nice as well to be able to see someone's progress.
What kind of like level are the people at? Like what ages are they? Where do you do it as well?
We did do it in Hessel Memorial Hall, and there's a session in Anlaby. I did the one in Hessel on a Monday, obviously at work pretty much every day at Darv. We're literally any ages. Obviously, the classes are age segmented, so you don't get a load of 3-year-olds with a load of 15-year-olds that want more attention. They all go really well. I've got made like some good friends there. Loads of different types of people from different walks of life, all in the same room, all doing art, which I just think is great. But we do commercial stuff as well. And I don't know, pies, everything. It was at Foot Asylum HQ the other day on Wednesday.
Oh,
Yeah, I think in Rochdale.
was that with that project then?
That was with art in, yeah.
Art in,
Which
is it
was
called? Art
class.
in.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
in UK. My accent probably doesn't transcribe it very well. Arting.
That's so sick.
I love doing it. It's something that I like doing. That has made me think that that's something I want to carry on doing. Like that theme of work, like teaching other people or sharing knowledge specifically with creativity. And when I get to the point of like having enough experience under my belt to be able to tell people how to do, I don't know, puzzles or contact galleries, like I'd love to be able to just give that information away because I never had like I still don't have a fucking clue. Like I literally just make it up and just pretend I know what I'm on about and then figure it out as I'm doing it, which maybe people can tell, but I don't know. I would always be honest with it anyway. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll give it a go. But to have that and to make people aware that it's possible is something that I want to carry on doing.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
like
It's so
it.
interesting that you do that there isn't something that actually helps like artists yourselves, like who are starting out like selling stuff and taking it really seriously and putting on shows, and you basically just have to like find your own way.
I think there ain't a gap to anything really. There's a lot of people that have had like contact me or spoke to some really important people that have given me like some really good advice. But that's just like it's helping hand. You've got to do most of it yourself. And I like doing it myself. I don't like leaning on other people. I think there's a value in earning your own graft and not copying for the
Yeah.
sake of it someone else's success. Well, it's what I put on that bridge. It's like work hard and dream big. I really value grafting. Like my back hurts after I know it's not fucking bricklaying, and I know that I'm lucky to like be
Yeah.
like, oh, my back hurts after painting. Like I'm not as like laboriously exhausted as most of the population, but I enjoy the fact that I'm physically and mentally put all I've got into something, and then I come home and after work, like double work essentially, do my shit, and then I feel rewarded when I see the final thing. And that's the full circle to me. It ends when I finish the painting, and then when someone says, "Oh God, I'd like that," I'm like, "Oh fucking hell, it's like a bonus." Because my
Yeah.
flow's already finished with it. Like once I've done the painting, it's done. Like obviously I love it, and it's like my baby, but at the same time, it's like I've got it out of my head now. The real painting always exists in here. That, for example, is just something I've had in my head, and I've just made it. That's the second version of it almost. I don't know. Doesn't really make sense. It does
I
to
know
me.
it does make
Like probably
sense.
what
It
makes
does.
sense.
It's a sick way of it's a sick way of thinking about it. Definitely.
I also always think your art is always for other people. If I genuinely thought my art was only for myself, I wouldn't be sharing it. Do you know, like I just wouldn't. I wouldn't have the idea of an artistic career because that exists on it's dependent of other people. Like it's not I'm not necessarily like validation, but it depends on other people wanting your work or supporting your work or understanding you contextually as a creator. So your art is always for other people. In the same way, I know it's morbid, but like funerals are for the people that are alive, not necessarily for you. It's a celebration of what you represent, and people interacting with our work is a celebration of what I represent as like a brand almost, but in a non-business sense, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. And also, I was going to say, like, your work is really quite personal. And
It is. I was thinking this morning. I was like, how do people even know?
well, but this is it. The more personal a piece of art is, like, I'm not an artist in the slightest, but I do love art. Like, I really appreciate art and take an interest in it. But
Mhm.
I always find that, like, the ones that are the most, like, personal pieces, I feel like people can always relate to a story, or if something looks personal, evokes emotion within you. And, like, everything's about evoking emotion. Like anything that
It's all
anyone
about
produces,
response, isn't it?
yeah, it's all about the response that you can get from someone. So you did a piece. I was looking at your Belch Chains and Solar Rings, the whole series that you did. There was this amazing painting of, I think it was your brother and your dad, and it was
Oh
based on a
yeah,
photo of them
yeah, yeah.
together. And like when I actually got a bit emotional, like looking
Oh,
at it.
that's
And
cute. I really appreciate that.
like reading it because and they were like they've got the same name and they have like the matching jewelry like in the fur like they have the watches the same watch I think they've got on. It's so sick, and then immediately it makes you think of like your own dad or your own brother, or
Mhm.
even though that isn't who is in the photo.
Yeah, it creates like a reflection, doesn't it, of self.
Yeah, 100%. So I think your work's so personal, but that's what makes it relatable and why people love it, I think.
I almost think there's no room for inference sometimes. Like I'm painting what I'm painting, and if you want to know about it, I'll tell you exactly what it is. And it's not like, oh, it could be this. That's like, no, it's not that. It's my brother and my dad, and I paint it because I love them, and that's it. But that
Yeah, yeah.
like clear cut, it almost removes any like confusion, I think. And I think that's why people can access my art not differently to other artists, but my family understand my art. And I've got from council state, and they don't really interact with art, but they understand it because they feel seen. And there's no like, I'm not trying to do anything other than paint what I like. That's literally it. Like I'm just painting an idea. I'll get obsessed with fucking gravestone, and then I look into Latin monograms for 2 days, and then I paint it, and I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
exactly what that means. And I've like the thread. You can see the thread of like thought and context that what is woven in it, and then that's what I like to share what my work's about. Some people don't, and sometimes not everything needs a write up. Some things are visually like say enough. that I don't need to like be like, this is this, but like I like talking about it because it's my interest. And you see, you go to galleries sometimes and it's like this big, like abstracts, like some of it's great, but then I'm like, oh, I want to know a bit of context. Like I'd love to know a bit. I know not all work is created from a conscious place, but sometimes it is. I know I'm sounding like a hypocrite now because I'm about art. I'm not having to write about what you like in school, but there's certain things that I think, oh, I'd just love to know. But then again, that's part of it. Is some people don't want their work to be known, they want it to be implied
Yeah.
or exist itself.
Yeah. And allow people to
Which
have
is fair.
their own take on it. I do get that, like, yeah. I think it all depends on the person. Like anyone can look at a piece of art and decide what it's about, even if you've
Mm.
told them exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like I've wrote things up and people still get a different inference from it. Even when it's like I am literally saying what I'm saying, but people are like, oh, well, let me think of this. I'm like, yeah, it's class. Like I say, my art is not for me; it's for everyone else. Like I paint it for me, but the way it's received is sweet fuck all to do. Like, people could hate everything I was doing, and I would have absolutely no control over it. Or people could completely love it, and again, I have absolutely no control over it. I put it out for what it is, and I'm confident with it as a solid thing. I don't feel like threatened by anything. I don't even feel like I feel good when people give me obviously compliments, but it doesn't add or take away from anything because I love my work as it is. And if someone else likes it, I'm like, oh, that's great. It's just it's its own thing, and I'm glad that I can share it. And I'm in a place to show the people my mind, I guess, or the way my mind links things together,
Yeah,
and then visually puts it up, which I think's cool.
it is cool. Do you finish a painting or a series before you start something else? Or is it quite fluid the way you work?
Yes and no. Like I think I do work in segments, I guess. The first like series I had was Tales from a Time Before, which was like really loose, technically not very skilled work on raw canvas, but I used where is it? Let me grab it. I used this, my old poetry book from when I was like, what's the usually years? Like 15? I don't know. But I've like we would just write poems in it, it's literally fucking falling apart, and I've vowed not to fill the last page in so that it's never finished. So there it is. But yeah, I'll just like it's got all like little stories from like I don't know, picking up weed for the first time, like finding myself, fact doing like you're a teenager and you find who you are, mates, I don't know, getting pissed, like real classic, just British teenage shit.
Yeah, yeah.
But then using that and rewriting it with some new poems, like joint between or extending them with the knowledge I have of life or self now, and then just airbrush them onto canvas. I wanted the work itself to be something that I would put on my wall at that age. And like I say, big things didn't it was not accessible. So they're quite small. They're not stretched either, so you can put them in a frame, like you could get a frame from Home Bargains and put it in like it's A3 size. So that was that. And I think they've all gone now from that solo exhibition. But it was weird because they didn't I thought they would sell as like I don't know why I thought it, but I thought they would go as an entity. I think that's because I created it in the same space. I assumed they would leave at the same time. But that's just me in my creative flow of like putting some out and then expecting it to go at the same time. But yeah, that was the first proper series, I guess. And then you'll be able to see through like the catalogue of my work how I'll use similar colours like threaded through. But that's because I'll paint on like three walls at the same time. But I'll have three different in my head the different ideas, but looking back, the thread of it is quite similar in like two of them or four of them. And I'm like, oh, I can see that I've got into this at this period of time, or I've played around with oil paints, and you can see, I don't know, more skillful work, or oh, I'm playing around with stars, and then you can see that. But in terms of like a solid set, proper series, like I say, A Tale from Time Before was the first one, but in my head that didn't seem like a proper one because it wasn't. It was already made itself almost. I just kind of brought it back to life. It was all already there, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
it was already in your notebook as like a capsule almost, and then you've reworked it kind of thing.
Put it back to life. But the Belt to Chains Solar Rings was the first like this is a body of work that means something. It's visually or semi-visually cohesive, like between each piece. There's a general theme, it's like context, all the things that galleries like tick, tick, tick. But I was like, this is like my first proper thing, and it made sense for it to be that because I only paint from what I feel and what I know. And I love my family to absolute bits. Like my mum, dad, brother, sister were like that. All under the same roof. I mean, I live like that now. I live with my mate, but like got like such an important family life that that like love would only ever be the first thing to come out. And no matter what way it came out, like it came out pretty accurately to my visual experience of growing up. Like my dummies or my brother and my dad, like all these things that are just like little almost like icons that float around my head of what being me means to me, if that makes sense. And that was the first thing, belts, chains, saddle rings. Belts, chains, saddle rings.
I was thinking, does she have belt chains? Will she be wearing one? Oh, there you go. Does your sister have one as well? And your brother?
My
Does
sister
everyone
has
have
one as
one?
well, yeah. My brother has a saddle
Does
ring.
she?
My mum has a belt chain necklace that she gave to my brother. And my dad has like a massive buckle ring, chain, and a necklace. My brother has. He didn't have a chain, my brother. He has a saddle ring, but that's like his like prized possession when we got him it. Obviously, the cost a lot, and it was like, this is your thing. But yeah, I
Yeah, I
just
was gonna
love
say, is
it.
jewelry like a big thing in your family?
Yeah. I think it is for like,
Yeah,
for council estates, you'll see there's a stereotype like big gold jewelry, but it is really important. It's like, not that you don't have much else and that's all there is, but to be wearing something and to be trusted with it. And it's not just like only council estate people wear fucking gold, but it is a stereotype. But I fucking love it. Like I actually love it. I think it's class. Like the fact that you might not have much, but you put so much value in like gifting something to your child when they reach a certain age of trust, or they'll wear a small version that you wore when you was little, and the jewelry itself is like it's made to last. It's like gold, or it's well, usually it's gold. Mine is silver. I'm a silver girl, or I'm a gold girl, but it's made to last and it can be passed down. It has this like sense of heritage in it. And I know it might not be intended by people getting their son a nice bracelet. They might just want it, or they've seen it in seagulls in town and they've nagged them out for Christmas. But for me, there is a contextual link in it, even if it's not intended. I just think it's class. I just love it. It's like council culture, and I'm all for it.
would you ever consider making jewelry?
I just think leave that to the people that can do it. It'd be a good idea, and I think I'd be able to do it. Like toxic trait thinking I can just fucking do anything at this point. When I do something, I put my full mind and energy to it. Like I'm there. I'll do it for as long as I need to create like a good enough version to put out, to sell or to show or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like to to me to make jewelry, it's like something that repeats itself. I know you can make one of the canned pieces, and I like the idea of like things that are put on a body and the placement and the meaning or the way or how it changes how you are. But I'm just not really not that into it. I think my thing, stick to what I'm doing and let people that want to do
Yeah,
that do that. I also think, like I say, it's repeated, and I wouldn't want to. I don't like doing the same thing. I don't like doing prints. I've got prints of the belt chains, like the thing of the bridge, but that's different because the money goes to putting art class on the estate. But when I create something, I create in such like a individual time that to make more than one of it would just like diminish the place I created it from. And I'm not doing it for the money at all. Like getting paid to do it is absolutely bad. But all I want to be able to do is paint and earn enough from painting so that I can carry on painting and have a nice tea and take my mum and dad on holiday. You know, like that my
yeah,
not that I'm
yeah.
not aspirational, but my goals are money navigated at all. But I suppose I've never been taught. I've always been taught the value of money, but I've never been taught like to cling on to it. And my mum has always said, if you like something, it's a quid, and you've got a quid, then get it if you really like it. She's always like trusted
Yeah, yeah.
your instinct, but if you like this quid, it's 100 quid, and you've got 100 quid to pay for it. Don't be put off by the price. Like if you like it and you want it and you feel like you deserve it, then you then get it. So like that value is like almost completely neutral, which is really nice to be able to create from like a non-expecting
Yeah.
place. And I went a bit on a tangent there.
No, it's sick. Like the reason I ask that is because like some artists would love to test different formats. You said yourself like you don't really like drawing, but there's some artists who would love drawing, but also love painting, and also like
Mm-hmm.
sculptures. But yeah, it sounds like you're like so focused on the painting, and rightly so to be fair, because it's all so sick, and everything you create is like you can tell that it's you. But then some series are really different. Like your Belch Chains one's different to like more recent work that you've been sharing. So like your Belch
Mm-hmm.
Chains one was all about like growing up on Boothry Council estates and all that, but the one you recently posted was referencing Italy, for example,
Yeah,
which I think is really cool. Oh, is it that one?
yeah. When I put them on Instagram, like I'd pre-crop them as if it's stretched. Obviously, I'm not gonna fucking stretch it and then unstretch it and roll it up. But I just crop it. But yeah, that one's from Italia. I've been meaning to paint a lot of things like ideas I had from when I was in Venice, but sometimes I just sit on them and they'll just like come at the right time. Usually it's right after I've been somewhere, but this one has almost been like they're just in the bank up there somewhere. They'll probably come out like
Yeah.
12 a.m. on a Wednesday night when I'm in bed or something. That'll be when I want to start painting, but
Yeah.
I've got to wait.
Do you often paint on just the canvas rather than it being stretched? Like, do you paint with it just rolled out?
Yeah, that's what I always do. It's better
Yeah.
for space. Like if I do buy a canvas, like I don't buy expensive ones. I get them from the Works and the £12. It's like the real big ones. I just think they're great. But
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not picky. I use house paint for my white and my black, and then whatever I can get my hands on really. But I know it might not make the work last forever. But I'm not creating it for any future RD. I'm just making it because I want to. But yeah, just staple it to the wall and roll it up, and that's it. It also means I can make like sizes however I want. Like if I go get a canvas from town, I have to bike home with it like on my arm, or I forget. Well, I can't really get to. But it's like I'm a fucking aeroplane. Like any wind, I'm like fucking hell. Like I can't like indicate. Obviously, I've got an absolutely 40-inch canvas like hooked under my arm. But I've kind of like that, like the humility of getting it. It's more sacred, I guess. I've been gone through like near-death experience on Springbank trying to get it to the studio.
Yeah, I love that. That's so funny. So we've talked a lot about like your past works. We've talked a lot about your upbringing and your influences, but you've got loads of stuff coming up. So it would be cool for us to talk about all the future stuff.
I'll link to the Bells, Chains and Solder Rings because I'm actually going to showcase that as a body of work and a film with some new pieces. This is going to be one of them, with some other new work, with like a refined idea of what the series is, in Humber Street Gallery on the first week of October as like a solo exhibition on the base floor, which I'm obviously super grateful to be involved in because I've always liked that gallery. And it's with the Unthinkable Festival, which was another catalyst for me pulling my finger out basically in 2023 when they asked me. A friend of mine was on it. She asked me, another artist had dropped out, and she asked me if I wanted to show some work. And at the time, I had like 3 paintings to my name, like that I'd done maybe in like a 3 year period. I had pretty much nothing. I had the studio, but I was still like really slowly getting into it. And I just said yeah. And I was like, it was in 5 days' time, and I was like, oh, shit. And I just started painting out of like necessity, and I worked good with deadlines anyway. And then I painted a few pieces, put them in, and one of my pieces was the only one that was sold there, which I was like, even that itself, I was like, that's crazy. And then from there, I did the second one this year, it'll be the third. 2024, it was in the Pier Street space on Humber Street Gallery. And I showed a few pieces of work, sold one there again, which I was super grateful for. And then Richie was in the Humber Street Gallery last year, and now I'm where Richie's was. And there's a few other artists that'll
Wow.
be taking the rest of the floors, also that are part of the festival. So that's like full circle and quite quickly as well in terms of like a span of like 2 years. I think it's mad, but that's obviously coming up 2nd of October. Keep an eye on my Instagram for specifics of that one. And then on the topic of Humber Street, again, there's one before that. That's 29th of August until the 14th of September. And that's a group show called Devour with a Feminine Urge Collective, which is like a female-led northern creative hub of female identifying artists to promote female work and work that has like female context. A lot of female work doesn't have female context, and it's almost like you can get in the gallery because your work's not too explicit or it's not talking too much about something. Whereas this is like anything goes essentially. And I've done probably some of my most like gallery looking work for that. And like I proper fucking love it. Like I spent so long and it's massive and there's 3 pieces that are going in. And it's really like contextually put together. Like I put a lot of time into making it make sense and making sure I was painting exactly what I wanted to say without saying it for once, to like really
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
show what I mean, which was like a chat. Every time I do something that's like a good painting, I know it's good because I almost give up, and like I don't give up anything. That's why I know it's going to be good. But like the hands painting that I did, that was like a big painting that pushed me to a different bracket of being recognised as like an artist. That I almost gave up on. It was the first time using oil paints, and then the Jesus painting and first time painting face was the second time I almost gave up because it looked like absolute shit. Like the photos are honestly unbelievably bad from when I was like creating it. But now I've persevered. It looks class. And then this one, it's like it's got inverted colours in it. So certain parts of it is the same painting, but it's a complete. Oh, it's an edge even talking about it. But you'll see it when it's up. I don't want to
Yeah,
share
it
it
sounds
until the intention
sick.
surfing. Yeah, I've put little like snippets on my story, but to see the whole thing, it has to be like I think it has to be in person alongside the other two pieces that I'm putting next to it to make it contextually understood. But it's basically about queerness and expression and stereotype of being a female without it being like this is how it feels to be a woman, and that art is fine, but I don't like it to be too. I don't really like making like politically intentional work.
Yeah.
I'm not saying my work is political because it probably is, and everything is because art is political. But for me, I just like to create what I think and trust that my values and my beliefs are clear enough and I understand them enough in order to put them into paint and then be able to talk about them from like an educational place or an understood place. And I don't want to start making work about fucking shit that's going on that I don't have a clue about because then I'm using my platform, I guess, or my skill for like a bit of a seedy like point of view, like trying to get like attention from it. But that's not what it's
Yeah,
about.
and it's not authentic then, is it to you? Like your work seems so authentic.
Yeah, it is. But creating this, like, the proposal for this was in January. I got this, like, book of a photographer and I was going to paint images from that anyway. And then it turns out like, it was like the exact thing that was meant to be for this exhibition. So I was like, that's perfect. And obviously, I'm preemptively painting them now so that when I go to Berlin, they're already in Hull. So I'd have to, like, send them back
Yeah,
and they're
I
already
was gonna
painted.
say, what are you gonna come back for it?
Yeah, well, it's actually my best mate's wedding on the 2nd of October. So the hen do is like that weekend in August. So I'll be back for August for the exhibition and then again for the Unthinkable Festival in October and also my best mate's wedding. So it's like perfect
That
timing.
was very considerate of them to put all of their celebrations in that weekend so you can come
Yeah.
back.
It's like, oh yeah, condense my trips. It's great.
Two
10
birds,
birds,
one
one
stone.
stone.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of Berlin, then, 'cause that's actually the first time we've proper mentioned it. Obviously, I already know because we've been chatting. Um,
Yeah, Berlin's
but
the
tell me
next
about,
thing.
yeah, tell us about it.
So my girlfriend Charlie, she's always wanted to go to Berlin. Like, she said it numerous times, doing like something just he's like, I'd always love to do that. And then he goes to Aldi and get a shop. And it's just like it's not it wasn't a thing, it was just something spoken of. She got me tickets for Christmas for like a trip and we went for the first time in the March and we loved it. To be honest, I wasn't actually blown away the first time, but I think it's because I have to really understand the place, like contextually and fully. I like to know the history of it to like feel somewhere. I'm quite knowledge based. I didn't really get that the first time. I don't know why I just didn't. But then the second time I was like, yeah, this is class. We went the end of last year, September time. And I loved it. And I understood it then going the second time. We didn't even go to any clubs. I don't want to have like an idea of something by like a really up time that I had. So like having a few drinks and having a dance is good, but it might not be fully reflective of how you feel the whole time. So it was almost good we didn't go like absolutely hacker and go out. So my idea of it wasn't like, oh, I had a really good night out, so that's good. Like it was actually like I really enjoyed the place. I liked how it looked. I went to a few galleries as well, and that's important for me. I like being able to like think, okay, that's somewhere I could take that. I can go in there and run my mouth. Do you know, like I like to be able to see how I would work somewhere, like physically in terms of
Yeah.
like actual work, but also like how I would fit in a place. I can't just like
Yeah, like what your
imagine it and be like, yeah,
daily,
yeah, I could probably do that.
yeah, like what your daily life is gonna be. Because, yeah, like it's so good to go somewhere and act like you live there to see if you actually like it. So it's cool that you did that the second time.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it the
But
second time. And then from in between there, we was like talking about it, but the one like inaction. I think that's because I was like not hesitant, but I was like, I just can't do it, get it. But then we'll see how we go the second time. And then obviously back end of last year, we liked it, and like from then we've started to put steps. I say steps, you don't really need to do that much to go saving all literally every single fucking penny, and so we can like have a month there without having to, well, more than a month, but like having some time like worry about immediately looking for a job just to pay bills or whatever. Like I want to be able to go there and not rely on my creativity because I don't really like that either. Like having to make work to pay bills, it might change what I
yeah.
create, but to be able to fully focus on my creativity and then use that as like something to go off for the first time in my life would be great for me. Whether it works or it doesn't, I don't really mind. Just to have the experience of doing it is great. So it's quite immediate there. Like as soon as you see something, you can't got to jump on it. And then people say like the
Yeah.
market's really competitive and that it's so hard to live there. But like my girlfriend says, if you think like that, then it's gonna be like that. And she's like willing to manifest it, and so far it's worked. So I just think yeah.
Well,
And
yeah, you're
also
doing it,
like
aren't you? So,
yeah, shit like that doesn't really happen to me. Like missing out. And if it's meant to be, it'll come. And if it doesn't, someone else will replace it. But at the minute, nothing's proving to be an obstruction. So it's just a case of whittling down my hours at work, put my stuff into a suitcase, go in.
mate, that's going to be so good. Did you ever consider like moving away from Hull before?
Yeah, I was torn between going away for uni, between Oxford or Leeds, and then doing philosophy at Leeds. And then I met my now ex, but I wanted to stay in Hull for like, was my first proper relationship. I didn't really like the idea of going away, which was God's plan because I ended up doing law at Hull. I did really well in college, and everyone was like, "You should do law. You should do some academic. It's a waste if you do art."
Yeah.
I stayed in Hull, stayed at my mum's, and then went into lockdown, which was again perfect. So I wouldn't have liked being away, but such a turbulent time from my family. And then I was kind of like, you get back into the flow of like normal life, and then by that point, I'd kind of forgotten about wanting to go because I was just setting up my still my teenage life. Like I'm 23 now, but at the time I was like 18, 19. So I was still just getting into the flow of doing, I don't know, getting fucking shopping or just like understanding how to
Yeah, yeah.
navigate being a bit of an adult. So the thought of moving away was almost too far removed from what I was doing. And then, yeah, I've always wanted to go away. Never really been on holiday. Well, I hadn't been abroad when I was younger. My first time on a plane was in 2022 to Rome with Alison. My art teacher would go abroad quite a lot. And that was like absolutely wild to me, like seeing that. But I didn't really get the feeling of like I could live here. Well, I probably could, to be fair. It's like it's Rome, it's Italy, it's great, but I don't know. I didn't get that like urge to be like, I could see myself doing this, and this year. But I suppose at that point, I want fully in my creative endeavor. I wasn't really doing it in the way I am now. So that's the idea of like identity or career didn't really exist. So I probably couldn't imagine anything. But no, now I'm in a place where I know where I'd want to go to do it. So it kind of
Yeah.
makes sense.
Do you think your work will change when you move to Berlin? Like, so much of your work is based on Hull and like your upbringing, and then there's like also what you were saying is like anything that's in your head, your thoughts and feelings, and like you just get it out. Do you think it will
Mm.
change when you go to Berlin or?
I think it will because, first of all, I don't know where I'm going to be working. I said to Charlie, I'd happily work in like the yard with a coat on and some waterproofs. Like I'd work anywhere. Like I'm in that place now where I'd need to do it. It's like out of necessity more than it is, not more than it is, but as much as it is creation. Like I really want to do it, and I feel like my hands actually hurt when I don't paint. I don't know if that's like just like I don't know a fluke or whatever, but they feel like they ache, and I feel like it's almost like I have to get out. I suppose it's creative energy and it's like stuck if I don't move it. But I think it will change my work. It'll probably develop me and force me to be more independent in the sense that I've got a massive community here and there's certain people that support me and they'll still be supporting me from afar, but I won't have, I don't know, a studio giving me for free, for example. Like all these like things that I'm obviously super lucky to have. I won't have the accessibility to. I'll have to like properly work my way up and almost like do it properly. That's my assumption.
Yeah, it'll be like a new sense of graft for you because you said you
Yeah,
love to graft and like what you
yeah,
do now, your routine that you have now and everything is a graft, but this is obviously just going to be turned on its head a little bit. Like you could probably do the
yeah.
same things, like still paint and everything, but it's just going to be a completely new experience.
Also, my idea of home will change. Like Hull is always home, and my mum's house on Bethune Ave, where my dad, my brother, and my sister live. That is always home as like a building. My home that isn't within myself, and that will move around with me, and my idea of like safety will obviously change when I'm somewhere else, dealing with other people, interacting with people that don't primarily speak my language as well. So that'll be interesting. I've thought about it, but not necessarily from a fear point of view. But I've thought I've created, not created identity. My creative identity is based on myself, which is a lot about being from council estate. But then I thought, well, that still exists when I'm away, so it'll just be me doing what I'm doing and getting my influences, but from a different input almost. It's more presently creative than it would be like past creative or reflective. Like a lot of my work is reflecting on feeling, whereas this would be like quite present. Whether that'll change it visually, I don't really know. But my work will decide for itself what it does and why I get interested in. Like this time last year, I didn't paint. I won't be painting that last year because I didn't have the
Really?
confidence to do it. I just wouldn't have done it. And it would almost seem like too like proper for me. Whereas
Right.
now I'm doing it and it fits with my style, and someone can see like, oh, that's yours. But it's then, but I understand that now, and I resonate with it. Like I wanted to do that, I had the image to do it, but like that and that are visually quite different. Like in terms of material, they're different. Skill probably different as well, but they're still created from the same place. So whatever I end up making will be again from that same place, I reckon.
Yeah, that's so exciting. And it's cool because Charlie, your girlfriend's an artist as well, isn't she? So you can like create together, and you'll obviously you go in with someone who you're able to be creative with, which I think will definitely help.
Yeah, it's nice to have someone to lean on as well. Like we're both very self-supporting, but to have like obviously she's my love, like she's to have a support network of her that I can lean on when I might be feeling homesick or when I'm not feeling confident, and she'll remind me of all the things I've done, all the things I can do, and I'll do the same. Like to have that proximately close and like metaphorically close, like I feel attached and close to her and I feel understood by her is like super important. And to be going with someone that I can share that with is almost like I feel a bit like, all right, it'll be all right because Charlie's there. I can do this, I
Yeah.
can do that, which is good. It's like a safety net.
So how long do you think you're going to stay in Berlin? Like, do you have a plan? Are you just going to go see how it goes?
See how it goes. We have a rough plan. You can only stay without a visa for 3 months, so that gives us from like June, end of August. The aim is to move there and
Yeah.
get a job seeker's visa, but you can't get a job seeker's visa until you've got a German address. So the first thing is just getting our asses
You've
there,
got
and then
to,
it
yeah,
goes.
then see how it goes. Yeah. No, it's dead exciting that. I love Berlin. But you said you went to galleries. Did you go to the Boris collection, the bunker?
No, we didn't. I don't think Charlie'd fuck with that. She didn't really like bunkers.
It's not underground.
Oh, is it not?
Yeah, it
Oh,
in
that's all right then.
underground. No, so it's like it is a bunker. I'll send you it after you have to book tickets to go. But you basically go on this guided tour, and it's this huge bunker that they built in the war. When they tell you all this history of it, and like literally, like it used to be a nightclub at one point, and like you can still see like all the graffiti, and it was like a sex club, and there's like it's so, and there's like rooms without windows. So maybe Charlie won't be so good if she doesn't like that. But I'll send you it. It's so sick.
Yeah, you should. I hadn't even heard of that, to be fair.
It's sick. It's called Boris Collection, and the couple that own it, they bought the bunker, and they're art collectors, and they like built a penthouse on the top, and they like live in the top of it, and then they just like every 4 years change the collection and just like put whatever art they like in the collection. So every 4 years, like me and Ellis try and go. He's been 3 times and I've been twice, but it's proper sick. It's real good. I'll send you it.
Thanks. When does the next 4 years land on? I'll have to get my business cards posted for the penthouse.
I went yeah, I think it's next year that it changes. I'll check because I went this year in January, and I'm sure they said it renews in February next year. So maybe if you're still there, then.
Nice. More than
But
enough time.
no, but you can. Yeah, but you can go to this one because you've not seen it before.
Yeah, but I want to be in the next one.
I love it, Ria. You will be. Get Charlie to manifest that.
Mm-hmm. Should definitely do that.
She might not go in the bunker, but she'll manifest like your art in there. I really enjoyed listening to you talk about your art. It's been so nice. Before we end, I'd like for you to give a couple of northern shout outs if you've got
Shout
some.
outs. Here we go. Shout out to Dav, HU5, Pretty Av. Absolute place to be. Best coffee, best pizza, best booze, best boys. It's just the way it is. My girlfriend Charlie, all the support, and all the whole creatives. I'm not going to list every single name, but the full community of people that are keeping it alive. Big up Northern Creatives.
Yeah, I love it, Ria. And shout out to you as well, Ria. Yeah, everyone listening, make sure you follow Ria on Instagram. I'll put your Instagram bio in the description on Spotify and on socials and everything. And yeah, follow UPNORF as well. And that's it, I think.
Yeah.
Catch you on the next one. Hello, me again. Thank you for listening to that episode with Ria. If you head over to Ria's Instagram, you'll see all of the amazing stuff that she's got coming up. And don't forget to follow us at UPNORF as well. All of the links to everything are in the description of this episode. Having Made It is brought to you by UPNORF, where we're connecting creatives of the North. You can follow us on Instagram, and don't forget to follow the podcast on Spotify too, and leave a little comment and rate us if you liked the episode. Thanks, and we'll catch you next time.